Story 1. The Christmas Tragedy. When I was 10, I moved to my father's house in a quiet, unfamiliar town. The only people I knew were a family my dad befriended, a single mother with 3 children. Among them was a girl, 2 years my senior, 12 when we met. Over 2 years we grew acquainted, though never close, bound only by shared friends. One chilling night, my friend Rami was at her house with her younger brother, alone, as their mother worked late. The mother had been aiding a woman through her job, learning her sister had recently been released from a mental asylum. That night, a knock echoed through the house. Mistaking it for her mother's distinct rap, the girl opened the door without hesitation. Rami, who shouldn't have been there, fled through a window to his nearby home, thinking nothing of it. It wasn't her mother. It was the woman's sister, who had pried the family's address and the mother's schedule from her sibling. She entered. I don't know what followed, and I'm thankful for that. The younger brother escaped to a neighbor's to summon the police, but the horror unfolded. A week before Christmas, the intruder savagely killed my friend, severing her head and leaving her body in the bathtub. They searched among gifts to find her head. I was barred from her funeral. Story 2. The Widow's Courage. 15 years ago, when I was dating my wife, her grandmother faced a nightmare. Her husband had died a year prior, and she kept active by volunteering at the library. It was winter, and her walks home grew dark as the library closed at 5. One night, declining a ride to stay fit, she trekked a mile through South Texas woods. Halfway home, she sensed a man trailing her, his steps quickening. Though not unusual, she was elderly and slow. His presence felt menacing. As he closed in, matching her pace just behind, dread gripped her. She could see her driveway, lights left on to feign occupancy. Only 150 yards remained. At 50 yards, a hand clamped her shoulder. Don't turn around. Give me your purse, or I'll cut you, he growled. She paused, then stepped forward, spun, and fired her .38 revolver into his neck. The man survived 5 years in a prison hospital before dying. Until her passing last year, she regretted pulling the trigger too soon. Story 3. The Phantom SUV. Between ages 8 and 11, my sister, 7 years older, babysat me when our parents were out. A smoker, she was forced to light up outside, and I'd tag along, pestering her. One evening, she spotted a white SUV with a bike rack and tinted windows idling at our driveway's end. It lingered until she went inside, then drove to a church lot to wait. Each time she stepped out, it returned. Brave, she ignored it. The next day, it reappeared, watching. I'd peer from the window as it sat, fixated on her. She told our father, a sheriff's deputy, who filed a complaint. Police found nothing. Months passed without incident. 9 months later, it returned, a regular menace. One day, fed up, she told me to stay put and march toward it. Halfway down the drive, she froze, later saying she felt death looming. She retreated. That night, with our parents home, the SUV appeared again. My sister sent me to alert Dad. Gun in hand, he approached. The SUV sped off, its license plate taped over. We never saw it again. Story 4. The Intruder in the Night At. 4 or 5 after my parents' separation, I stayed with my mom in a first-floor, 2-bedroom apartment. I had my own room but preferred her bed. Our rooms faced each other across a hall. It was summer, and her window, above the headboard, was open. One night, I woke and sat up, spotting our cat in her doorway. Odd, since he always slept with us. As I watched, he meowed and entered my room. I nudged Mom awake. In those brief seconds, we looked up to see a man in my doorway slipping out. Mom, with uncanny speed, scooped me up and hurled me through the screen window, following instantly. We screamed for help, and someone called 911. Police found no forced entry, only an unlocked front door, suggesting he'd left that way. Mom insisted she'd secured the deadbolt and chain. A week later, cleaning, she found a notebook in the water heater closet with names, drawings, gloves, and gum wrappers. Police speculated he'd hidden in our home, waiting for us to sleep. Story 5. The basement cackle. One day, while doing laundry, a bulb blew in my basement. The laundry room is walled off, and to reach the stairs, you cross the dark other side. The blown bulb left that area pitch black. I finished my wash, dreading the trek. Halfway through the gloom, a rasping cackle erupted behind me, like a chain-smoking witch's laugh, deep and hoarse. I bolted for the stairs, heart pounding. I waited for my father to return before replacing the bulb. I've never heard that sound again and haven't told anyone in the house. Story 6. The Man Under the Bed. My friend Minji, in her early 20s, tutors English in South Korea. One night, she was helping a high school boy late, past bus hours. Far from home, he begged to sleep on her floor. Reluctantly, she agreed. In her one-room apartment, she took the bed, he the floor. At 2 a.m., he woke her, claiming hunger and urging her to a 24-hour diner. Annoyed, she pointed to ramen in the kitchen, but he insisted on the diner. After arguing, she relented. On the street, he confessed he wasn't hungry. Lying on the floor, he'd seen a man sleeping under her bed. Police later found a homeless man had lived there for 2 months, unnoticed, until the boy's low vantage point revealed him. Story 7. The Desert Ambush Driving. A shortcut from 29 Palms to Albuquerque, I navigated a desolate 2-lane road through the high desert. Past Amboy, a near ghost town, I climbed a mountain range. At the canyon's peak, I spotted debris ahead. Slowing, I saw a red Pontiac Fiero angled across the road, a suitcase spilled open, and 2 bodies face down, a man and a woman. I stopped 100 feet away, unease prickling. As a Marine, I grabbed my 9mm, sensing a trap. The scene felt staged. Scanning, I plotted a path. Swerve left of the man, right of the woman, past the car. I gunned it, weaving through without contact. Glancing back, I saw the bodies rise, and 20 people emerge from the tall grass. I floored it to the I-40 on-ramp, heart racing, never knowing what awaited had I stopped. Story 7. The Desert Ambush Driving. A shortcut from 29 Palms to Albuquerque, I navigated a desolate 2-lane road through the high desert. Past Amboy, a near ghost town, I climbed a mountain range. At the canyon's peak, I spotted debris ahead. Slowing, I saw a red Pontiac Fiero angled across the road, a suitcase spilled open, and 2 bodies face down, a man and a woman. I stopped 100 feet away, unease prickling. As a Marine, I grabbed my 9mm, sensing a trap. The scene felt staged. Scanning, I plotted a path. Swerve left of the man, right of the woman, past the car. I gunned it, weaving through without contact. Glancing back, I saw the bodies rise, and 20 people emerge from the tall grass. I floored it to the I-40 on-ramp, heart racing, never knowing what awaited had I stopped. Story 8. The River Screams. One night, my friends and I were fishing on the James River, a fire crackling as we chatted and sipped beers. Abruptly, silence fell, as if a switch flipped. We stared across the river, feeling watched. Unease settled, though some joked to dispel it. Then, a gut-wrenching scream tore from the opposite shore like a primal, wordless wail of someone being slaughtered. We froze, hairs standing. A second, fiercer scream followed. Some of us sprinted to our trucks for guns. Returning, we sat, eyes locked on the fire-lit rocks across the water. A third scream erupted, now from our side, mere yards away in the bushes. We fled, abandoning gear. As we reached our trucks, a final scream echoed beyond the trees. We sped off, never learning the source. Story 9. The phone at home one Friday. My friend picked me up for a hockey game. Rushed, I didn't notice I'd forgotten my phone. During the game, worried I'd lost it, I borrowed his phone and called mine. After 3 rings, someone answered but stayed silent. I shouted, assuming it was my brother pranking me. No reply. I hung up. At home, my parents and brother were out, having left shortly after me for dinner and a concert. If they weren't home, who answered my phone? Dread hit as the back door creaked open and shut. I bolted to the neighbors and called 911. The back door had been left ajar, letting someone enter. Nothing was taken, but the thought of sleeping with a stranger in the house haunts me. Story 10. The neighbors' son new neighbors moved in, their son, a twisted 19-year-old obsessed with slasher films and my Vietnam War stories. He tormented strays and fixated on my 7-year-old daughter, chatting with her after school or over the fence. When he called our house for her, I confronted him and his parents, banning contact. Then my daughter, always imaginative, claimed something lived in her closet at night. We dismissed it. One night, my wife and daughter were at my mother's, and I fell asleep downstairs. At 2 a.m., the neighbors called, saying their son was missing and they saw me upstairs with lights on. I'd been asleep, lights off. Grabbing my shotgun, I saw the sheriff arrive and a silhouette pacing in my daughter's room. Deputies found the son hiding in her closet, admitting he watched her sleep in the moonlight.